What's up, everybody? It's Skylar and Pedro back again with another tech deck. This is my tech deck. This is Skylar's tech deck, and it's going to be about my dragons. Miirym, the Sentinel Wyrm. Flying, word 2. Whenever a non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. So in this deck, we're going to have a lot of legendary dragons, a lot of ways to pump them up, make them stronger, cheaper to get out and stuff. And I've separated into the piles. This is my enchantments, my one planeswalker, my sorceries and instants, my creatures, my artifacts, and my lands. So let's go through my utility lands first. First one, I got Temple of the Frost God. Add 2 mana to your mana pool. Activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands. A great card. Helps out with the dragon cost too, because it adds 2 colors. Next, I got Mosswort Bridge, Hideaway 4. That means you look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 under here, and you pay 1 green. You may play the card exile this way without paying its mana cost if your creatures have a total power 10 or greater. So a good way to help me cheat out a very strong dragon. I got Breeding Pool. Enters the battlefield, pay 2 life. If you don't, Breeding Pool enters the battlefield. So a good way to, if you want to play something and if you don't have the mana, you can put this in and it shots it in, meaning it untaps it. Then I got Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Add 1 mana. Then I pay 1, put a storage counter on Crucible Spirit Dragon. Remove X storage counters from Crucible Spirit Dragon. Add X mana of any combination colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragons. So a good way to get out more dragons. Absurd Storefront. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for basic plains, island, or swamp. I run islands, so that's why it's in here. Then I got Temple of the Dragon Queen, a good card. Enters the battlefield, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. Temple of the Dragon enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal a dragon card this way. As Temple of the Dragon Queen enters the battlefield, choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. Then I got Evolving Wilds, Opal Palace, you guys already know. Spawnwalk Knoll, Hideaway 4, another one. You may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if an opponent was dealt 7 or more damage. And the rest is just basic lands and stuff like that. Next, we're going to get into the instants and sorceries. I got a Negate, counter target non-creature. Essence Flux, exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it's a spirit, put a 1/1 counter. So this helps me protect my commander. That's why it's in there, because he is a spirit dragon. I got Spoils of Victory. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, mount, or forest card. Put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle. So see how it says plains, mountain, swamp, or island? It does not say basic, so that's why I have the Breeding Pool and stuff like that in there. Chaos Warp, a wonderful card to help. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveal the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put that card onto the battlefield, so a great way. Then I got Counter Spell, Tails In, counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. Seething Song, add 5 red mana. Cultivate, a cool Strixhaven alternate artwork. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield, tap another into your hand. A good ramp spell. Dragonic Lord, costs 2 less to cast if you control a dragon. Draw 3 cards, a good ramp. Descent of the Dragons. Destroy any number of target creatures. For each creature destroyed this way, its controller puts a 4/4 red dragon creature token onto the battlefield. Tapped. Not tapped, but onto the battlefield. Rampant Growth. Search your library for basic land. Good ramp spell. Sakura's Triumph. Search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. A great card. Dragonic Intervention. As an initial cost to cast this spell, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Dragonic Intervention deals X damage to each non-dragon creature, where X is the exile card's mana value. If a creature is dealt damage this way, would die, exile it. So good way to, good removal. Got another removal wheel, Beast Within. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green creature token. Kodama's Reach, a good ramp spell. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Far Seek, another ramp. Search your library for plains, island, or swamp, just like the Spoils of Victory, a good way to get your shock lands in and stuff. Blasphemous Act, a good removal spell. It's cost 1 less for each creature onto the battlefield, even on the opponent's side. Deals 13 damage to each. Corrosive Grip, a great card. Split second, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Natural Connection. Search your library for a basic land, put that card on the battlefield, tap and shuffle. A great one. Put that off to the side here, people. Next, we're gonna get into the enchantment side of my deck. Frontier Siege. It's a battlefield. Choose Khans or Dragons. Khans, at the beginning of each of your mana phase, add 2 green mana, so a good ramp, or you could go with the other side, which is the Dragons. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight a target creature you don't control. A great card. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Dragon creatures you control get +3/+3. A good little bump. Gert's Uprising. Enters the battlefield if you control a creature with 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature with 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw. So a good drawing spell. Generous Violence, great card. If a creature you control will deal damage to a permanent or a player, it deals double that damage instead. So a great way to just bump it up. And have this out with this. Oh, it's a game over. One shot people here. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature with 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Another way to draw. And Acolyte of Bohemia. Commander creatures you own, the first dragon spell you cast costs 2 less to cast. So a good way to cheat out dragons more. Let's look at my Planeswalker here. And I have this one. I will get the other Saucons when I can. This is the only one I have for right now. Saucon the Masterless. Whenever a creature attach you or a Planeswalker you control, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. Until end of turn, each Planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 dragon creature and gains flying. Create a 4/4 red creature token with flying. So a good way to help me booster and put out more dragons. Next, we are going to take a look at the artifacts. For the very first artifact, we have Steel Hellkite. Everybody knows this card is a good dragon. This is why I have it in here. Steel Hellkite gets +1/+0 until end of turn. For pay 2 to do that. Then you can pay X, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt combat damage by Steel Hellkite this turn. Activate only 1 each turn, so that could be a board wipe or anything. And next, I got Chameleon, Orb of the Dragonkind. Add red if that mana is spent on a dragon creature spell. It gains haste until end of turn. Monster Manual, a great card. You could send it out on an adventure for 2 colors and a green. Mill 5 cards, then return a creature card with mill this way to your hand. Great card. Then you could pay a colors and a green. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So if you have a very high costing dragon and you have this out and you don't have ways to cheat to make your dragons cheaper, this is a good way to just boom, right out from your hand onto the battlefield. Then I got Trading Post, a good card. Pay 1, discard a card, you gain 4 life. Pay 1, tap, pay 1 life. Put a 0/1 white goat creature token onto the battlefield. Great card. And pay 1, sacrifice a creature, return target artifact card from your graveyard. So we could use the goat to sacrifice to return a different artifact from my graveyard to my hand. Pay 1, sacrifice an artifact, and draw a card. So a good way just to keep drawing, synergize. Arcane Signet, add 1 mana of any color of your commander's identity. A good way to help send out dragons and stuff. Then I got Pyramicon, the Double Masters version, for if an artifact or creature card entering the battlefield causes the triggability of a permanent you control, it triggers an additional time. So with this and your commander, you're going to create 3 copies of a 1 dragon that you have. Just 1, which is crazy. Jade, Orb of the Dragonkind. Add a green when you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell, and it's battlefield with a additional 1/1 counter on it, and it gains hexproof until end of turn. Great card. Fair Ward Stone. Add 1 mana of any and land an opponent controls, which is great. Let's read that again. Add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls produces. So it helps you cheat out your dragons. Then I got Soul Ring, got an alternate artwork. Add 2 colors. With the boots, equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Then I got Herald's Horn. Enter the battlefield, choose a creature type. So in this deck, you're going to choose dragons, creature spells of the chosen type. Cost 1 less to cast, help cheat out dragons even faster at the beginning of your upkeep. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand, which is great. Next, we're going to look at the creature based, which is, I don't have all the best dragons. I'm going to get old Gnawbone, Tyrant of the Peaks, Copper Dragon. I don't have those, but I will get them soon. So this one, we have Earthquake Dragon. Costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control. So you play this and you get 3 of them. That's 30 damage right there. Then I got Thakras the Butcher. It's the battlefield, double the power of each dragon you control. Great card. Ashin the Blazing Sky. Flying Trample. When Ashin the Blazing Sky dies, choose a 1. That's out of the top 2 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards. Creature. Create 3 treasure tokens. Good card. Hellkite Tyrant. Flying Trample. When Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player. Sorry about that, people. Pedro's going through my cards right now, as you can tell. Gain control of all artifacts that player controls. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. So a good way to steal artifacts. And I got Ancient Bronze Dragon. Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player. Roll a d20. When you put a X1 counters creatures on each up to 2 target creatures, where X is the result. So if you roll 20, you get to put 21 counters on to 2 different target creatures. And I got Genesets, the Astral Hunter. Enters the battlefield, create a treasure token, or another dragon enters the battlefield. You could create a treasure token, so a good way just to keep ramping stuff. Then I got Renee, the Merchant of Marvels. You may cast spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. So a good way to flash out your dragons and stuff. Rayful Red Dragon. When a dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dragon. So a good way to prevent people from targeting you. Then I got a Dragonic Master Outcast. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red creature dragon token with flying. Which in this deck you will definitely control 6 or more lands. Savage Ventmaw. Flying. When it attacks, add 3 red and 3 green until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases ends. Great card. Then I got Corliss Scale Singer. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library. So a good way to keep seeing what you have at the top of your library to be able to cast it with flash and stuff. And then we have Droxlith's Maul of Flames. When it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each up to 2 other targets. Good way to get removal. Scale Nutria. Great card. Add a green when you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell. You gain 2 life. Dragon Speaker Shaman. Dragon spells you cost 2 less. A good way to cheat out more dragons, make them cheaper. Limerith Desert Doom. Has word 4 as long as it's untapped and deals combat damage to player. Draw cards. Then if you have fewer or 3 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So if you have 3, you draw 4, or if you have 4, you draw 3 and stuff, or if you have none, you just draw 7. Then I got Reckless Barbarian. Sacrifice it, add 2 colors. Not 2 colors, but 2 red. Skyline Deposit. It's a battlefield, you become the monarch, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you're the monarch, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. A great card. Then I got Sheevan Devastator from Dominator United. Flying haste, and it's a battlefield with X1 counters on it, so that's why it costs us so cheap. You better be able to cheat out more dragons, make them cheaper, and with this being cheap, you could pay, let's say 7, and it's a battlefield with 7/1 counters, but it'd be cheaper than that. Lost the Dragon Legacy. Whenever you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, Lost Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't in commander. Good way to board wipe and stuff. Goblin Archimancer helps cheat stuff out. Red and green spells cost 1 less to cast. Then I got Nagi, Draco Zealot. Dragon spells you cost 1 less to cast. When this attacks, if you control 3 or more dragons until end of turn, Naga becomes a 5/5 dragon and has flying. Oh, that's a nice card. That's really nice. Really nice, people. Rapus Dragon ends the battlefield. Create 2 dragon tokens. I mean, not dragon tokens, but 2 treasure tokens, which is nice. Akkad the World Render. When a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. So, in this deck, you're doubling your dragons, making them stronger, doubling the damage and everything, which is really nice. Then I got Skylar the Dragon Heart. When it attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other dragons you control, and dragon cards in your graveyard. And choose a background. Gold Span Dragon attacks or becomes target spell. Create a treasure token. Treasure tokens you have tap, sacrifice it, add 2 mana of any color, which is nice. And then we got Dragon Lord Servant, makes dragons even cheaper. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Then I got Thornbeak Regent. Whenever a dragon you control becomes a target, a spell or ability of one controls it deals 3 damage to that player. So help protect your dragons even more. Dragon Broodmother. At the beginning of each upkeep, put a 1/1 red-green dragon creature token with Devour 2 into play. A great way. Then I got Minion of the Mighty. In the last tech deck of Pedro's, you've seen that he had the one because I gave him the one that I had, and because I got this alternate artwork of him, which is nice. Has tactics. My bad, people. When it attacks, if you could attack with a creature total 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. A good way to help double the damage, put more dragons out. Hellkite Charger attacks. You may pay 5 colors and 2 red. If you do, untap all attacking creatures. And after this, there's an initial combat phase. And I got this list from EDH Rec. We are not sponsored by them, by the way. So that's how you see most of my cards here. That's how I decided to which dragons I needed and which dragons I don't have. So these are the ones I have. I got through trading and cards I own personally. But this is my Miirym. If you guys like it, hit a like and subscribe. If you guys build it a different way, leave it in the comments. Let me know. And peace, guys. See you back with another episode here soon.